Hello and welcome everybody, I hope that you're all good, and here today we're talking Nundos. These are 0 stat Pokemon in Pokemon GO, and I'm more specifically going to be going over my collection of this. We did this back in 2021. Before we dive into the collection, do make sure that you hit that subscribe button, because I'd love to have you coming back to the channel, and of course let me know in the comments below what your Nundo collection's looking like, those 000 IV Pokemon. They're amongst the rarest in the game. So let's jump into what I've got. My first ever 0%er was actually a Murkrow, and we're going to have to pixelate the name because I named it something before the inappropriate text filter was put into the game. So October of 2017. I'm fairly confident this was actually during the Halloween event at that time. And I think back in the day you actually had to scan them because you had the text appraisal. You had to go through and actually say, right, this, and this, and input your CP, the HP, and everything into a computer to make sure you knew it was a 0%er. So first Nundo, Murkrow. Second was a Plusle the following year in April of 2018. Makuhita followed a year later. Look at that, it's a whole, pretty much an entire year later, so you can see how difficult it was back in the day to track what Nundos actually looked like. March 2019, I think this might have been a fighting type event potentially, but Nundo Makuhita. Nundo Krabby a month later, a Nundo Poliwag in August of 2019, and then a Nundo Torchic. December 2019, we got ourselves a Nundo Bagon. I believe this was actually on the back of the December Community Day rollback event of 2019. We picked up a Nundo Bagon, evolved it up to Salamence, because why not have a Nundo Salamence in your life? 2020 saw the completion of my first Nundo family. We got Murkrow again in February of 2020, so that's been picked up and completed. Then we have a Krogunk, April of 2020. This would have probably been caught actually in lockdown, I think. So somehow a home Nundo spawn, which is excellent. A Nundo Voltorb, I think they're on the same day. They're 2 Nundos per day. Look at that, fantastic. Then we got a Nundo Caravana, and then my very first shiny 0%er. This was caught on the proper 6-hour community day for Charmander, its second community day, way back in October of 2020, and this was a level 1 shiny Nundo, which is epic, and it is currently a tier 3 max mega, just because why the hell not? Double legacy move on it too, if we ever decide to do a level 1 battle against Pokédaxi again. Then in the same month we got this, the famous Litwick hat costume, and this has got to be one of the rarest Pokemon in the game. If we got it as a Shundo, that'd be insane. Never come back, and it is a 0% stat. Then a level 1 Nundo Magnemite. Then the Meltan. This is obviously very difficult to get your hands on because of the fact that you have to do the Meltan boxes, and those IVs can be very random as well. Most people chase that PvP stat, of course, but we went for the Nundo, which is amazing. Nundo Bulbasaur, a Nundo Swinub, Nundo Woobat, and then a Nundo Shadow Gligar from an Arlo battle. And I think we were actually doing a 24-hour challenge at the time, from memory, but that's got to be one of the rarest out there, surely. Nundo Costume Stantler from Christmas. Another Shadow Nundo, a Voltorb this time around from a random grunt. Absolutely epic to pull that in. And then this has a special meaning to me because this was caught while Ian and I were visiting Clarkson's farm. If you're a fan of the Amazon Prime show The Grand Tour, you may remember an episode where they all had their giant statue heads when they were testing pickup trucks. We went to look for a Pokestop that is called James May's Head that's been put into a field somewhere, and we got an incensed in Nundo Yungus, which is amazing. Nundo Rock and Roller, Nundo Dino, which is epic. That was actually from the Community Day itself, so Community Day Nundo, then a Nundo Houndour. So this Nundo Helioptile might be, you know, decent-ish mon, whatever. It was actually caught at Seattle Go Fest IRL event when we were there in 2022, and nobody knew it was here. I checked all my catches afterwards and saw it was in the storage. One of the first catches, and I think the Electric Garden biome we had. Then this was actually a home Nundo Quillfish, Hisuian form, when they actually got introduced in August of 2022. Absolutely awesome wild spawns were pulled in. Nundo Horsey, Nundo Galarian Stunfisk, and this was caught at the London 2022 World Pokemon Championships. I think it might have even been an incense or a lure, but Nundo level 1, epic, and it's more the place where it was caught that was exceptional. Another great story behind this one. Caught September 2022. This was when I was on a massive road trip through 7 countries in Europe in the MX-5, and this was actually caught at the Eagle Nest at the top of the mountain. I think it actually is in Austria. It's actually caught in Bavaria, Germany, but you're right on the border between Germany and Austria at the Eagle Nest, and I think we were raiding a Deoxys up there. But this spawn is actually thanks to the Psychic Spectacular of that year that was overrunning during the course of my road trip. So another Nundo from overseas, absolutely awesome, and what a place to have caught it as well. Nundo Costume Blitzel Fashion Week of 2022. I think we're actually doing a 24-hour challenge for that one, of course. Great Nundo costume, very rare. Nundo Mantine, another Nundo Yungu, so we can complete that family if we wanted to. The Nundo Mankey that we're actually working on getting to annihilate at the current time. Can't go wrong with a Nundo Pikachu. This was actually the first Nundo of 2023, and then we got a Nundo Bergmite as well, Nundo Slugma, a Nundo Unovan Daramaka, the Nundo Nummel. You see there's a sudden sharp rise in the amount of Nundos because when the actual proper search string came in, much easier to tell. So Nundo Larvitar, this is courtesy, I think, yes, of the Community Day Classic at the beginning of 2023. Nundo is now a Tyranitar, which is hysterical. A normal Blitzel, a Nundo Noibat, again courtesy of the Community Day for February of 2023. Then this is also Community Day for Slowpoke. Nundo Cottony, I think that was actually courtesy of a event that was going on at the time, as well as the Fungus that both of them caught on the same day, which is amazing. This wasn't a Finneon, this was actually a wild Luminion that was a random spawn, completely random. This, yep, Fennekin Community Day, so Nundo Fennekin for the Com Day, and a random coughing afterwards as well. Skorupi, a regular form of Castform, Poochyena, Stuffle. I'm fairly sure that this was actually a Dugtrio in the wild, happened to be a Nundo, which is amazing. This is actually my favourite Pokemon, Trico, so Nundo for the collection, which is great. And then we come to Axew Community Day, when we got our second ever Schnundo, 0% shiny, randomly spotted by a local squad, and we went and got it with a shiny. It was amazing. So it's got Breaking Swipe, the legacy move on it. Moving on to Sewaddle, kind of an anti-climax there. We've got Rhyhorn in there, Spritzy. We've actually got a Squirtle from the Community Day Classic of 2023 as well, hysterically. In fact, is that two of them? That's two of them. Nundo Anorith, Shieldon, then the Frillish, which is a very nice pull. Random Nundo Frillish is great. Wooloo, very, very rare considering Wooloo isn't typically available in the wild, only in very, very select rare events. I think it is in GBL, but of course GBL Nundos are hard to come by. This was a Charmander from the Community Day Classic, so Nundo Charmander, then the Nundo Grubbin also from the Community Day. So this is what happens if you haven't got a weather boost on the Community Day, you just catch everything and you'd probably get one. Eevee was a random spawn, Nundo Onyx, Nundo Alolan Executor. Finally we get to a Nundo Magikarp. Up-to-date stuff, a random Nundo Cutiefly. Drifloon, Poochyena. I think you can tell we're into the Halloween event of last year. So Nundo Pumpkaboo with the costume, which is great. Mischievous just went absolutely AWOL with the amount of Nundos, so there are a couple of there, but the Nundo Zorua, absolutely amazing. You have to do the buddy switch trick to make this as a possibility, so Nundo Zorua is amazing. The Nundo Costume Gengar, absolutely exceptional to pull that in from the wild as well. This was while we were doing a 24-hour challenge, I might add. Another Nundo Mischievous for the collection, and a Nundo Yamask, which I think might have actually been from the Spotlight Hour. Actually, no, it wasn't from the Spotlight Hour. I tell a lie anyway, but here we come back to Nundo Wooper Community Day. There we go, there's a Nundo Johto. We didn't get the Paladin, unfortunately, but there is Mareep, not from the Community Day Classic, hysterically. Nundo Lechonk, which is always a nice thing for Generation 9. A Nundo Furfrou, that was, I think, from the Fashion Week. Nundo Bergmite from the wild, the Winter Spawns. A random Nundo Feebas, and then we get into the Christmas stuff of last year. We've got a Nundo Pikachu with the costume, a random Vulpix. Look, we're into the ones from this year. Vulpix, a Delibird, Machop, and a Scraggy, and a Lickitung, and a Porygon. The Porygon, the most recent in my book, the Comday Classic for Porygon was the most recent Nundo we pulled in, but I've got Lickitung and Scraggy's quite a cool one, so there you go. In total, I have 95 Nundos to my collection. I've probably transferred quite a few of them in the early days, and I know I've transferred a few of them accidentally before we had the proper favouriting system and all that sort of stuff. So we've nearly got 100 Nundos in the collection. Let me know in the comments below what your Nundo collection is looking like, and even do you bother collecting Nundos, because they're not everybody's bag. I know that for a fact. I like to catch them and keep them because they're a funny thing to hold on to, really, particularly level 50 of them. So if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to throw a like down on the video and do subscribe if you are new as well. I'd hugely appreciate the support, And of course, a massive thank you to everybody who's on my Patreon. You guys are the reason this continues to be a possibility with the live streams, the videos, and the live event travel. You really do mean the world to me, so thank you very much for your continued contribution towards what we're doing here on the channel with content and all of that jazz for Pokemon Go. So thank you very much indeed, and let me know if you enjoyed these collection style videos. Of course, there's plenty in terms of collection style stuff for Pokemon Go. We could go for the rarest. Do you want to see what my rarest, in my view, catches are? Do you want to see the top tier of every typing? Do you want to see hundos? Do you want to see shinies? Do you want to see just the most powerful Pokemon in my storage? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll say until the next time, do take care.